investigation, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice, wheels keep turning, Granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters run, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? Good. Wow, got everybody in here. Sorry, I was a little bit late. Hello, Joanne. Ginger girl, good to see you. Chemistry. Let's see who else we got. Katie, good to see you. Guys are just talking up a storm, huh? So yes, there is news. And that's what we are going to go over. But before we do that, we are going to look at the spotlight on the missing. Armando Miralez III has been missing since April 13th, 2022. He was last seen in Greenville. 15-year-old male, 5 feet 6 inches tall, 147 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. If anybody knows anything where Armando might be, anything about his disappearance, please call the Greenville Police Department, 911 or 1-800-TBI-FIND. Our missing children are important. Hello, Brenda Jo. Good to see you. So, yes, we do have a little bit of news. It's not big, huge news, but it does help our timeline. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen. We're going to go over a couple of things. So this is one that was published yesterday. It said no new searches planned in Pictou County missing children case. Investigators are still looking into the disappearance of 2 Pictou children who disappeared last month, but don't have immediate plans to put more people in the woods looking for clues as to what happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan. Guys, that doesn't surprise me. I don't know, but I don't think law enforcement thinks that they're in the woods. On May 17th and 18th, which was 10 days ago, ground search and rescue members were back in the areas around the Gerlach Road home from where the 6-year-old girl and 4-year-old boy were reporting missing on May 2nd. The original search, which involved ground crews, helicopters, drones, and dogs, was scaled back May 7th. The disappearance is now being investigated as a missing persons case. The work to find Lily and Jack remains very active with a full complement of resources, tools, and many investigators engaged to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. RCMP spokeswoman Corporal Carly McCann said Tuesday, there are no planned air and ground searches at this time. Any future searches will be determined based on the investigation. She wouldn't comment on whether the forces used a polygraph as part of their interview. Any of the investigative techniques that are being applied and used aren't going to be a part of any information that we release to the public at this time, she said. So, in other words, if they did polys, they're not going to tell us, guys. So, the next one was this one. Missing Nova Scotia siblings Lily and Jack were seen with family the day before they disappeared. So that would be May 1st, guys, because they disappeared allegedly on May 2nd. 2 young Nova Scotia siblings reported missing 26 days ago were seen in public with family members 1 day earlier. The disappearance of Lily and Jack from the trailer home on Gerlach Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, that they shared with their mother's stepfather and the couple's baby, prompted a massive search in the surrounding wooded area. Based on the details we've gathered so far, we've confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st. So my question is, and I think one of you said this, what family members? Was it Dan's mom and brother? I'm just saying. If it was those two, which would make sense, right? Because they live there. If it were those family members, then my question is that the truth? I mean, I'm just going to say it right out. Is that the truth? Now, because we know that they didn't live near her family, not real close anyway. Mounties first got the call on Friday, May 2nd at 10 a.m. that Lily 6 and Jack 4 were missing. On Wednesday, investigators said they had already collected hours of video from areas surrounding Lansdowne Station, but they're looking for more. We're now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Gerlach Road between 12 p.m. on April 28th and 12 p.m. on May 2nd to contact us. So they're looking from April 28th at 12 p.m. up to May 2nd, 12 p.m. Noon, both those days. Noon on April 28th through noon on May 2nd. Mounties are following up on 355 tips they fielded in the case. RCMP officers have also formally interviewed over 50 people, with more interviews planned in the coming days. Daniel Robert Martell, who identifies as the children's stepfather, told the Chronicle Herald earlier this month that he and the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, last heard Jack and Lily on the morning of May 2nd as they lay in bed with their baby. The sun was already up and Lily came into the bedroom, said Martell. She had a pink shirt on. We could hear Jack in the kitchen. A few minutes later, we didn't hear them, so I went out to check. The sliding door was closed. Their boots were gone. He surmised the children slipped outside through a sliding door. Bartel said when they noticed 2 children were missing May 2nd, he immediately jumped in the car and started searching neighboring roads, looking in culverts. By the time he returned home, the RCMP were there, having been called by the children's mother. Martell is not Jack and Lily's father. He's been Brooks Murray's partner for 3 years. Though after the children disappeared, she reportedly left him in the county with their baby and is staying with family. Earlier this month, Martell said that he has been working with Northeast Nova Major Crime, had provided the RCMP with his cell phone, and had agreed to take a lie detector test. Mounties have previously said there is no evidence the children were abducted. On the weekend after they vanished, Brooks Murray told CTV that Jack and Lily are not typically the type of children who would go outside on their own. I just want to remain hopeful, but there's always in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Lily and Jack's disappearance prompted a large-scale ground and air search that began immediately after the children were reported missing. Hundreds of searchers, multiple dogs, a variety of drones, an underwater recovery team, and several aircraft scoured a heavily wooded 5.5 square kilometer area before search efforts were scaled back on May 7th. Additional searches took place on May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and May 18th. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. Mounties are fully engaged in figuring out what happened to the children. Matharo said, "We're using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. We understand people's desire for answers and updates. However, as this is an active investigation, we're unable to discuss details of our ongoing work. Police are asking anyone with information about the missing kids or video footage that might help with the investigation to call the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit at 902-896-5060. And to remain anonymous, you can call Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Or you can submit a secure web tip at www.crimestoppers.ns.ca or use the P3 Tips app." So that was a mouthful. So my question, I mean, that does help us with the timeline a bit. If I don't know, what do you guys think? If they were seen by Dan's mother and brother, those would be family members. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I found her wording very strange as well. Hello, K9. Good to see you. I'm not sure what to think either. Let's say, I mean, obviously for RCMP to put that out there, they didn't say K9 if it's on video. So let's just say that because they put it out there, they must believe that, right? So we're down to late afternoon that they were seen by family members on May 1st. So now we're just talking a few hours, afternoon into evening into early morning of May 2nd, right? I was wondering if someone was stalking the family, perhaps, or a family member took the kids and never returned with them. Yeah, and I think the same thing. They were out of the home. Lily was allegedly sick, and there was whooping cough going around, right? If she had a cough and there's whooping cough going around the area, why are you taking that child out to infect other people? Okay, so I have one more video that we can play. Was of the news. I tried to get it right to where it should be.
Who went missing in Nova Scotia's Pictou County nearly a month ago were seen in public the day before their disappearance. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack have been missing since May the 2nd. Police say they were told the children wandered away from their home in Lansdowne Station. The disappearance sparked an extensive search. An update today, the RCMP say they have collected hours of video from the surrounding area.
Based on details gathered so far, we have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st. Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash
Observed in public with family members. That's a little bit different, guys. They were observed in public with family members. So does that mean they were not with Malaya or Daniel, but were with other families on May 1st in the afternoon in public? I'm looking more at the mom and stepdad than anyone. If someone in the family took them, why not report? Instead, we have the runaway story. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think, right? And yeah, I mean, the whole thing is strange. There's things they're purposely keeping away from us, right? Which is fine, guys. Remember, we don't want them to tell us anything that would jeopardize the case. I think that they wanted, there was a lot of skepticism about the timeline, right? We know that. So, this narrows down that timeline, and maybe that's what they wanted us to know. That timeline is less than what everyone was thinking, because remember, we thought all bets were off after the children were dropped off Tuesday with the bus in the afternoon up until Friday morning when they were reported missing, right? So now we've got a timeline from May 1st in the afternoon, but they were seen in public with family members. That means away from the home. They were seen in public. Can I replay her statement? Yes.
of May 1st. Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlic Road between noon on April.
Okay, wait.
Hours of video from the surrounding area.
Based on details gathered so far, we have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st.
They were observed with family members in public on the afternoon of May 1st. Yeah, they were probably seeing a video on a local store or something, right? I honestly don't remember, Ginger. I agree with you, Joanne. They're telling us something. They're just not telling all. And I get it. I get it. You know, I think the biggest thing is that the timeline now is narrowed down to when they could have gone missing, right? Oh, well, thoughts and prayers are with you and your daughter. That's awful. Your grandson. I'm sorry. It just says they were seen with family members. I mean, so as far as that goes, they could have been seen with Malaya and Daniel. They are family members. I'm just saying. Yeah, we'll definitely keep them in prayer, chemistry. Girl, if you need to go, we understand. But I mean, so think about that, guys. It said they were seen in public with family members. That could mean Malay and Daniel as well. I mean, I would question why they didn't say with mom and stepdad, but you know, they are family members. They are family members. Let's continue on.
Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlic Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd to contact Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit. Investigators remain committed to exploring all possibilities surrounding the children.
Here's my question, though. Why are they, let's see, April 28th. April 28th was Monday. Monday at noon through noon on May 2nd. So that's my question. Why are they asking for dash cam footage from Monday at noon through noon on May 2nd if the children were seen in public with family members on May 1st? Are they trying to determine if there was some kind of vehicle involved? I mean, I remember you talking about that, chemistry. I'm so sorry. Poor thing. 10 months old. He's never been home. Poor child. So, you know, I mean, you got to wonder what they're looking for. What are they looking for between Monday noon, April 28th through May 2nd at noon, right? What? And they want dash cam footage. So what are they looking for? Right? Yeah. So sorry you're having to go through all that. Let's continue on with this.
Children's disappearance.
So far, RCMP say they have received more than 355 tips and have formally interviewed more than 50 people.
Okay, so remember they said they had 35 people they wanted to interview. They have interviewed more than 50 people and they've gotten over 355 tips. That's a lot of tips, guys. It's a lot of people calling in, right? Someone lurking. That's what you meant, Katie. Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening. Kent, please stop calling people out. Okay, we don't do that here. It's twice now I've deleted your things. We don't do that here, okay? Yeah, someone lurking, exactly. You know, it's possible, I guess. I think that it is very I don't, slim chance that there was any kind of an abduction going on, or in the works or being planned, other than familial, right? Yeah, we don't know, Melissa. They're not saying, they just said family members, which in my opinion could be Malaya, Daniel, anybody else, right? But they were seen in public with them. Maybe visitors to the home. There was talk about the fact that there was a lot of people at the home on Thursday night, was it? So let me see what else I'm missing here. All right, let's continue on.
With more interviews planned in the coming days.
Like many Nova Scotians who don't have a family doctor, a 96-year-old Dartmouth resident is fed.
Okay, that's all for that one. So, yeah, I mean, maybe they're trying to nail down who was all at that party. Could those kids have been taken by someone that night? Right? Maybe they're looking for the family traveling back home. That's a possibility. Right? I mean, that they're asking for specifics, and here's the thing. If they're looking from Monday to Friday, right? It could be anybody. It could be anybody, even in the family that lives on that property. Was there anything suspicious going on? They may want to know that, right? And they're asking for dash cam footage on Gearlock Road. That would make sense, They're trying to find, because guys, I mean, that is a very rural area. So the only thing that they would be able to see would be dash cam footage, other than trail cams, which they've already got and they're combing through, right? So it would make sense that they're trying to get dash cam footage. Now, they've gotten trail cam footage and any other, CTV footage, but now they want dash cam footage from anyone driving down that road. Makes sense. Trying to narrow down anything suspicious going on that road that week. That seems perfectly logical to me. So, and remember guys, when they have not included abduction. Kent is right about that. But remember that when they talk about family doing something with children, abducting, anything like that, eloping with them, they don't consider that an abduction. So, at least I don't believe they do. Exactly. It only takes one sighting sometimes. Look what happened with Stephen Stern's flat tire. Exactly. And dash cam footage for Gabby Petito. They just happened to be driving down that same road and remembered seeing that van there. One sighting. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, guys. So, Katie, you still think it might be someone other stranger abduction, or it's like I said, it's professionals early on have said that that's would be really rare in this rural area. Not that it's impossible, but it would be rare. I agree with you, Joanne. I don't believe in coincidences either. Yeah. And that is, right? Let's see. We look at types of child abduction: family abduction, stranger abduction, acquaintance abduction. So, I mean, stranger abduction, I think would be very rare in this case. I'm leaning more toward family or acquaintance abduction, honestly. Or, like I said, somebody, lean more towards family or friends, not a stranger. Somebody that was at that party that night. Yeah, they already said it wasn't an abduction early on, but they don't consider family, they don't consider that an abduction if something happened, right? Say an accident, like many people believe, some kind of an accident, and so they did something to cover it up, right? That's not an abduction, right? If and I'm just going to throw this out there. It's probably way off the wall, but just kind of give you an idea. If they sold Lily and Jack for drugs and gave them to somebody that night, that's not an abduction, right? So I think that's, you have to be careful about that word, right? Have to be careful about using that word because it's not really an abduction in certain cases. And yeah, I just don't see a stranger abduction. I think it's when you look at where they live, the only people that would go up and down that road, in my opinion, would be the people who live on that road. Why else would anybody go down that road? Maybe now sight seekers, right? But before this happened, No. I mean, it's kind of like when you think about Sebastian's case, how many people actually went down Stafford Court that didn't live there other than, maybe newspaper people or garbage people, friends. But now look at how many people have been down that road. Totally different scenario, right? I don't think, I mean, I've heard it several times, but I can't say it's a fact, right? I can't say it's a fact. But is that what they're looking for when they're asking for dash cam footage for that? And when you think of, they've interviewed over 50 people. Well, think about that number, guys. Were they interviewing some people that were at a party? I'm just saying, how can you interview 50 people when you think of where they live? Yeah, that changes it to something else totally. Yes. Well, that's criminal for sure. And Kent does bring up a good point. If they're looking at dash cam footage, they can see more plates that are in the driveway, right? Anything newer than 2024, they have 360 round views. So, there's, and I do just want to say, guys, they said it wasn't an abduction early on. But things can change as well, right? I mean, things can change. Do I think that that's what happened? No, I don't. So, I don't, I think that there is a lot to look at within the people that were on that property, that lived on that property, which I have now heard that the brother no longer lives on that property anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but why would he move off the property now? Just wondering, right? Why would he move off that property? So I think, yeah, it, like you said, Joanne, you don't believe in coincidences. There are things that just do not add up, right? Brother moves off the property. I've heard rumors about brother that I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything that don't know, don't have proof receipts for. So I've just heard some not so good things. I'll say that about the brother. And now he's no longer on the property. Why did he? I mean, that's not a coincidence, right? My guess is that the party is part of why they are missing, even though I haven't heard the party confirmed is happening. Yes. I mean, I think so. Well, I don't know. He was the one sitting on the ATV. So, I mean, I don't know, but he was the one sitting on it. So did he own it? I couldn't tell you. Right. Yeah, I've heard that too, that there's only about 100 people that live in that area. So you got to figure they talked to it said over 50 people. Now we know that they talked to Bio Dad's family, right? Because they're going to check that avenue out, guys. They're going to check that avenue out. And we know that they talked with Malaya's family, right? And then Daniel's family, but that's not 50 people. So who, neighbors. I don't know, right? 50, when you're looking at that area where there's only 100 people that live there, 50 people is quite a number of people. Now, when you're looking at Sebastian's case, I don't think 50 is very many people. See the difference in the two cases? There is a difference, right? Yes, Joanne, everything is there for a reason, right? If that party happened, why would neighbors say it happened then? I mean, I know that some people just want to talk to just be famous or something, but I don't understand why someone would say something that wasn't true, right? Teachers, bus drivers, neighbors, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they talked with the bus driver, teachers, yeah. Yeah, but there's one bus driver from what we know. And I don't know, a couple teachers. You're still talking, we might be up to 20 people now. So I'm just saying, guys, but how many were at that party? According to the neighbors, they were spilling out of the driveway into the road. And that's why the neighbors noticed it. That person didn't even know kids lived there. Well, I heard it was an anonymous post on Facebook, no guarantee a neighbor. What was the party? I've heard it from more than one area. From one source, I should say. And yes, if it was just an anonymous post on Facebook, I'm not gonna. And like I said, I've heard it from several different sources now. But honestly, I don't think that's something that RCMP is going to tell us if there was a party or not. But there's a reason why they want dash cam footage, guys. That's all I have to say about that. There's a reason. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I've heard it from more than one source. Okay. But think about it, Katie. If you were a neighbor living on that road, after everything that happened to the neighbors in Sebastian's case, would you put yourself out there? I'd be typing anonymously as well. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be putting myself out there. You've only heard it in that anonymous post on Facebook. Gotcha. We've now heard that Malaya has lawyered up. I don't know if that's true. The woman with the trail cams also disputed the low spectrum autism Lily used to go and play with her daughter. So yeah, to me, honestly, guys, I think it is the speech problems that come from having pacifiers for too long. That's what I think. Yeah, and I get what you're saying, K9, but seriously, would you, if it were you, would you post yourself out there after what happened in Sebastian's case? I wouldn't. So and that's kind of exactly my point, guys. You know, the anonymous post. And yes, I understand it's hard to trust anything that way, but think about them trusting. Who, you know, after Sebastian's case, after Summer Wells' case, you think they want to be trustful? They want the information to be seen, but they don't want anyone coming after them. I don't blame them. Good point. Good point. Wouldn't it bug you though, K9? If you had information like that and you did go to law enforcement with it, right? Wouldn't it bug the heck out of you? You see all these posts and everything online and people, you know, talking and blah, 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 blah. And you have this bit of information that you know could give some answers to some people online. Wouldn't that bother you? It would me, but I don't know that I'd give in. And Katie, yours comes from Jay Slater's case. Yeah. Yeah, the whole, I don't know. I mean, we can be devil's advocate and we can look at it both ways, right? And I am, I'm not so quick to judge anonymous posts. I really am not, depending on what they're saying, right? Depending on what they're saying. I'm going to look at everything and then go from there. Releasing it could jeopardize the investigation. You're right. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. The fact that they were seen in public Boy, I'd like to know where that was and who they were seen with, wouldn't you? I would really like to know. Because it seems like, I don't know if you guys have looked at paternal grandma, bio dad's mom. She has talked a little bit about the kids, right? But she said that ever since Malaya moved to Pictou County with Daniel, she hasn't seen the kids. So, and Daniel's sister as well. They haven't seen the kids either. So sister or sister-in-law, I'm not sure which she is, but so it seems as though they're very secluded where they are, right? Other than when they went like to the grocery store, or, school, things like that, they're out and about, right? In that little area. So they're not out visiting other family members. So it makes me wonder what family members were seen in public. Was it Malaya and Daniel? Yeah, sometimes loose lips sink ships. I agree. And that sounds like isolation. Yeah. That's right. That you bring up a really good point. Bio dad, the information that we had that he's on house arrest is wrong. That's not him. It's the wrong Cody Sullivan. So he's not in jail. He's not on house arrest. So just to make that clear, we don't know a lot about him. And what we do know is he doesn't have the kids. We do know that, right? We know that his mother doesn't have the kids. We know that his sister or sister-in-law doesn't have the kids. So that has all been checked out. But yeah. Yeah, Daphne. K9, do you know for sure, is it sister or sister-in-law? Just kind of a hyphenated name, so I wondered, because the last name is Sullivan, but is it sister-in-law? They would have gotten money on the first if they were on some kind of assistance. Doesn't Canada spread that out throughout the month? Because ours is spread out like first Wednesday, second Wednesday, third Wednesday, fourth Wednesday kind of thing. Yeah, her name is Daphne. But and her last name is Sullivan, but I think it's hyphenated. The last name is hyphenated, so which, guys, you know, as you know, I don't go real life on people. I don't look into, mainly if I go to their Facebook stuff, it's just to see if there's any news on the kids. Because, you know, in my opinion, they don't have the kids. It, they need to live their lives. We don't need to be judging them. You know, if they have information, I'll listen, of course, right? But I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to look into their lives. That's not me. If there's something wrong there, law enforcement's going to look at that. I just don't do that. I don't think it's right. I saw pictures of Daniel and his first wife. They looked really happy. Oh, he was married before? I know he had 2 children from before, but I didn't know he was married. That's interesting. But, you know, it's like any other, you know, no relationship is rosy forever. You know, you're always going to have your ups and downs. It's whether you make it through, and evidently they didn't make it through, right? You know, it'd kind of be nice to know what Malaya's thinking, right? Mr. Yummy seems to think she's got guilty knowledge, right? I don't know. Okay, 9. Hello, Sharon. Good to see you. I think it was good of the grandmother to let parents Jack and Lily have the larger, nicer place to live. Girl, really? You want 5 to 6 baby skunks who get their smell? I wouldn't. I'd be calling somebody to come and get them now. Oh my goodness. And I agree with you, Ginger. Pictures can be deceiving, you know. It's just a snapshot of a moment in time. We saw a lot of pictures of happy Malaya and Daniel as well, right? And then all of a sudden, kids go missing and whoops, right? Exactly. You know, there's no relationship that's perfect. Doesn't matter how long you're together. No, but you're going to wait until they do. That's what I'm saying. When they all get their smell. I wouldn't wait for that. Rumor has it that Daniel's mom stayed in the main house as well as the trailer. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I've wondered that too. Um, you know, like especially when it got cold in the wintertime, that kind of thing. You know, and I could see that happening, right? The grandma said that, canine. The inside of the house was just as bad as the outside. The mom never used to be like that and was a great mom until she had Meadow. She changed. I mean, that's news to me. Did she have problems? I wouldn't want a pet skunk either. But I can imagine the babies are cute. I can imagine they are. They probably are. I have heard of people having skunks as pets, but I remember my grandma getting them under her shed and oh, yeah. How do you know that, Joanne? His mother's still alive. It's also when she cut ties with the real dad, she's communicating with another creator. Yeah, I've heard that, Belinda. I've heard that. Postpartum depression. Guys, that puts a whole new spin on things. I'm just saying, there is a case that when it goes to court, I will be covering of a mother who killed her 3 babies, strangled them with exercise bands while her husband went to pick up some food, some takeout, and then she threw herself out of the second story window. She lived, the babies did not. And she had been seeking treatment for postpartum depression. She had been on, at the time that she did this act, she was on 13 different kinds of medication. Those doctors were idiots, in my opinion. When she jumped out of the second story window, she broke her back. She's paralyzed from the neck down. And she's still in the hospital as far as I know, and this has been over a year for sure. So I'm serious about the fact that postpartum depression, if it's not treated right, guys, can be very harmful to a mother and her children. I'm just saying, it's a proven fact. Yeah, it was horrible. I'm trying to remember her name. I can't think of it right now. You know how, yeah. It was bad. It was bad. So if she had, that's what makes me think when someone does something that is entirely, when they change up their routine and it's entirely different, there's a reason for it. Okay. So, they need to be looking into that. I have a feeling that she wasn't getting the help she needed. Let me see if I can think of. Yes. It was Lindsay Clancy. She was 34 years old. Oh, she's paralyzed from the waist down. She was indicted 2 years ago on 3 counts of red rum and strangulation, deaths of her children, Cora 5, Dawson 3, and 7-month-old Callan. She is being held for court-ordered treatment at Tewksbury Hospital. But she was on 13 different medications at the time that she did this. And even her husband, he made this statement, "I wasn't married to a monster. I was married to someone who got sick," he said. The real Lindsay was generously loving and caring. All I wish for her now is that she can somehow find peace. Right? He's not with her anymore. But you know, like he said, he wasn't married to a monster. Right? Yeah. Lindsay Clancy. Very, very sad situation, guys. Let's see. I will share a picture of her. Here we go. This is her. Beautiful young woman, 34 years old. There's her 3 children. Blacked out their faces, but yeah, beautiful young lady. She's now paralyzed from the waist down, and she is still being held. I can't imagine in a psychiatric unit, but she's also got severe medical issues since then. So, yeah. So I just want to say, I don't know if that's what we're dealing with here, but if she did have, postpartum depression, Lindsay Clancy is probably an extreme case, but there you have it. Totally out of character. If she used to be a clean freak and then switched completely up, right? And think about this, guys. Daniel has never spoken anything bad about her. She has changed all her social media to take him out of pictures and stuff. But she hasn't said anything bad about him either, but she's totally cut him off, right? Yeah, she was a nurse. She was a nurse, guys. She was an RN. She was very beloved. Everybody loved her. Look at the smile. I mean, everybody loved her. She loved her children. She loved her husband. I mean, and it totally about face, right? She was in deep, deep depression. I mean, and she knew, and she was trying to get help for it. So it does give me a little bit of a different view of Malaya, if that's the case. I'm just saying. Now, do I think that Lindsay should have red rummed her children? Absolutely not, right? But I do blame doctors. She should not have been on 13 different medications, right? And she's going to have to serve time for it. I can't even imagine what's going on in her head. She's going to live with it for the rest of her lives, guys. This is, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's psychosis. And I agree with you, K9. I do believe that. I do believe that. She has to serve it. But nothing is going to, spending time in prison is, or a mental institution, which is probably where she's going to end up, because she had it bad. It was bad. It is not going to take away the fact that she knows for the rest of her life that she took the lives of her 3 precious babies that she loved. Yeah. Yeah, she was diagnosed with it, postpartum depression. She was actually hospitalized for it. Everything. I mean, guys, she was trying to get help. She was a nurse. She knew she needed help, right? She was trying to get help. And she wasn't taking her own medications. The doctors put her on this medication. Yeah, and she is in the time period for postpartum. Yes, I agree. The psychiatrist who prescribed all the medication will be liable. Yeah, I think she's going to end up in a mental facility because knowing who she was before this happened, when she gets better or somewhat better or whatever, I can't imagine living with that for the rest of your life. I can't. Right? And her husband said, I didn't marry a monster, right? And I just hope that she can get some peace. I don't know where she's going to get peace. I don't know. Only the Lord will be able to give her peace, because I can't even imagine. Yeah. He lost everyone in one fell swoop. A family of 4 down to just him now. He lost his wife and his 3 babies in one fell swoop. How do you get over that, right? Delusional beliefs is not a reason for murder. No, it's not. But it could be the medication. Nobody should be on 18 or 13 different medications, in my opinion, at one time. But so, if that's true, if Malaya did have postpartum depression, and depending upon the severity of it, guys, I'm just saying, I have a little bit, it causes me some concern. That's all I'll say. yeah. 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 Uh, in my opinion, they should have made her. I don't. People like that, like Diane Downs. They should have their tubes tied or something. I don't know. When they're going to harm their children, I don't think that Lindsay would be able to carry a baby. I don't. She's paralyzed for the rest of her life. She's not coming back from that. So, um, yeah. So, I mean, that's something for us to think about. Um, if Malaya had that, that's cause for concern as far as Jack and Lily go. So it could become a key factor in this case. It could. I'm not saying it is. It could, if that's the truth. But my grannyism for tonight is mystery is not always about traveling to new places. It is about looking with new eyes. It's kind of what we're doing tonight, isn't it? We're hearing about postpartum, looking with new eyes. Uh-oh. What? We have to look with new eyes. When things are a mystery to us, we kind of have to step back and take a look and look at it with new eyes, right? Even in Sebastian's case, it's the same thing. How many times have we gone back to the beginning to try to look at things, but we keep coming up with the same answers? Things stood out to us as we did it, right? But we still came up with the same answers. Maybe her family blamed Daniel because he didn't get her help. It's a possibility. Yeah, it's very serious. Guys, when I read what Lindsay, oh, seriously, guys, it was horrible. I have some videos if you want to look for them. What the things that were going on in her head, it is a really serious illness, guys. That's why I'm saying if Malaya has it, for one, that could be reason why CPS is involved with the baby. I'm just saying. I mean, so it's very serious. It's not just a matter of some depression. It's very serious. They contemplate suicide. They contemplate that their children would have better lives if they didn't have her for a mother. All kinds of stuff go through their minds, guys. You would not believe. It's like they almost think that they would be doing their children, a service by taking their lives because this world is so horrible and they shouldn't have a mother like her and blah, 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 blah. It's awful. It's horrible. It is horrible. Yes, K9, I agree with you 100%. And that's why I'm wondering, she's living with her mother, but Lindsay, they took the daughter to the doctor earlier. The doctor gave a prescription, I think, for an earache or something. So they came back from the doctor's. The husband had been working at home because he couldn't trust Lindsay by herself with the kids. I'm serious. This is how serious this was. Okay. He was working from home, guys. Okay. So she went downstairs because he had an office in the basement, and she said, can you go and get her medicine, and then can you go to whatever place and pick up takeout for us for dinner? And the takeout place was like 20 minutes to get to it. Okay. So she had timed this, she planned it. So I'm serious, I'm hoping that CPS is keeping a very close eye on her if that's what she's got, and that her mother, it doesn't leave her side or the baby's side, whichever, right? Because it is scary. There have been rumors back and forth about that, so I don't know for a fact. I'm leaning towards, I think that CPS has the baby, but I can't say for sure, Katie. Yes. Yes, it can be. But in Lindsay's case, it wasn't. Yes, Lindsay was hearing voices. Lindsay was hearing voices. And guys, think about this. You've got a mother with severe depression. And then I don't think any of us will ever forget the video of Lily screaming at Jack's birthday party. Screaming at the top of her lungs, right? You got a mother in extreme depression, and then you've got children who, even the bus driver said, Lily is a drama queen and she likes to scream at the drop of a hat. What is that going to do with a mother with severe depression? I'm just saying. I don't know. But it's out there. It's a thought. We don't know. I sure hope RCMP knows for sure, right? I would think that they would know. It kind of sounds to me like CPS is on it. They're involved. If they don't have the baby altogether, right? They're involved. So, just saying. There are those thoughts that are out there, right? Looking at things with new eyes. That's what we have to do. We have to look what happened tonight, looking with new eyes. Look at what we saw. Interesting, huh? It's crazy, but I want to thank you guys for being here. Auditory hallucinations, psychosis coupled with delusional beliefs of I am bad, child better off. Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what Lindsay was feeling. I just thank God I didn't get that. I can't imagine. Yeah. I agree. I agree that they know. You know, it, and for once I'm happy to say that I'm glad that CPS seems to be on this case, right? I'm just saying, I think it's a good thing that they're keeping an eye on baby, right? So there we go, guys. Oh, scary thoughts, but open eyes, new eyes. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. That's all I really have for tonight. We will talk to you. I think I have a video that's coming off of members only at 8 p.m. tonight about Sebastian. It's not very long. But I found something today that I thought was kind of interesting, so I quickly recorded it and shared it with you guys. So if you're not a member, you'll be able to see it at 8 p.m. today. All right. So thank you guys for being here. Please, please, please hit the like button on your way out. I would really appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.